After hosting over 100,000 people on my free Medicare workshop, I always hear one common question around Medicare supplement plans. And I'm going to answer that question in this video, which is how do you pick the right plan? But I also want to address the fact that people are overlooking maybe one of the most critical questions as you first join Medicare when it comes to Medicare supplement. So I'm going to talk about, I'll answer your number one asked question, but I'm also going to address what you should be actually asking yourself as you first approach Medicare. I'm Emily with the Medicare Coach, an independent consultant helping our clients easily navigate both the Medicare rules from the government, but also all the insurance company options to help you do what's right and best for you to protect your healthcare rights as well as your retirement savings. So I'm going to share some extra things down below to give you more shortcuts to Medicare, but I want to help you do what's right and best for you. Now, the number one question that people ask me is, how do I pick out the right Medicare supplement plan, the right letter, the right company, things like that? I'm going to address that here shortly. But I want to address what you should be asking first, which is, what are my options in the future once I join Medicare? Most people do not realize that you cannot change your Medicare supplement letter or company every single year. In most states, to make any type of change in the future, you have to go through what's called medical underwriting, where they will look at your pre-existing conditions. And for this reason, your initial Medicare supplement decision has very long-term impacts. So please be thoughtful. People assume that you can just join a plan now and switch it later. That's not the case in most states when it comes to Medicare supplement plans. So let's now hop into now that we know how this rule works. How do you pick out the right letter, the right company when it comes to Medicare supplement plans? So I have more videos on what Medicare supplement plans are, but the key thing is that they go with original Medicare, and Medicare supplement plans are the important part to cap or to limit your out-of-pocket costs, especially around your Medicare Part B as in boy costs. So when we look at Medicare supplement plans, there's a few important questions that I ask, and in this order. My first question is, where do you live, right? What state do you live in? Because there could be unique rules that impact you. For example, in New York State, you are always guaranteed at any time of the year to switch between Medicare supplement letters or companies, no matter what your pre-existing conditions are. So if you have a state like New York, we're going to look at it from a short-term perspective, not in a long-term perspective. Most other states have very difficult rules to change letters or to change companies, so we have a different approach to it. So my number one question is, where do you live? I want to know what rules your state has and kind of what we're working with overall, okay? My second question is, what's most important to you, right? If you have a lot of health issues, we want to know that, because we're probably going to go for a more robust, a more expensive supplement plan that will overall reduce your costs. Or if it's most important to you to have a lower premium because you're pretty healthy, you'll take on some risk, fine, it's another option. But I want to know what's most important to you, as it will help guide both the Medicare supplement letter as well as the company. Okay, I want to know, when it comes to costs, what can you afford to pay, both on a monthly basis, but also on an annual basis, right? There are different costs when we think about Medicare supplement plans. People tend to only think about premiums, but the reality is there's both premiums as well as other out-of-pocket costs depending on the plan. And we have to decide what's most important to you. If you're someone who wants to have a higher premium, so you have basically no out-of-pocket costs, that's probably going to be a plan G. But if you're not that person, it's going to probably be a different plan for you, okay? So it's important to understand what is important to you, because it will impact the supplement letter that we recommend, okay? The next one to that point then is, okay, well, what letter do you fit best into, right? Based on where you live, based on what's important to you, based on your overall kind of cost profile, risk profile, will help you find a letter that fits you best. There are letters between A as in apple to N as in Nancy. I oftentimes see Plan G and Plan N encouraged a lot by insurance companies because their commissions are high. Those can be right for some people, but absolutely horrible for anyone else. Both of those letters I would never recommend in a state like New York, right? And so depending on what your situation is, we have to find that right letter. So you're going to pick out your letter based on, again, where you live, what's most important to you, your costs and risk profile, things like that. And once we find your letter, we will then ask yourself, well, what companies offer these plans? Not all companies offer all letters. There should be between 6 and 12 companies in your area that offer any specific supplement letter. So we now look at the company. I want to know, because it's hard to change companies in the future, I want to look at things like, what's their financial stability? What's their history of rate hikes? What's the customer service like? What's their loss ratio? Are there other perks with certain companies that could sway us one way or another? So my point is this. Number one, when you first approach Medicare supplement plans, understand the rules to change those plans in the future. Once you do that, you can then follow these 5 steps to decide which letter fits you best. Again, letters are very much unique to you. Couples oftentimes have different letters, different companies, things like that, and states can also be very different. Additionally, if you live in Minnesota, Wisconsin, or Massachusetts, you have your own different letters, unlike the rest of the country. So it's important to know how those work as well. But again, please be thoughtful when it comes to your Medicare supplement plan. Because of the stickiness, because it's hard to change, we want to get it right when you first join. All right, here's to helping you easily make your right Medicare decision.